And just about to get the truck loaded up. We are going trout fishing. A little bit of a difference though. I'm actually bringing a fly rod with me. So a little bit of a disclaimer, I am not a huge fly fisherman. I did not grow up doing it. I have very little knowledge on fly fishing. So if you guys see me doing stupid stuff or doing things that don't really look all that great or not very refined, just understand that's why. I am very much a beginner. I have an Orvis Encounter 5-weight. I think it's a 9-foot or a 9'3". So it's a good fly system. It's not like a great fly system, but it works usually for beginners. I'm really looking to get a 6'6" 3-weight because a lot of the streams and creeks that I fish, that's just going to be something that works a lot better. I am also bringing my BFS rods if the fly rod doesn't end up really producing all that well for me or I'm struggling a lot. So if you guys only see a little bit of fly fishing, that's why. I'm really hoping to start incorporating that fly fishing, but we're just going to have to go ahead and see. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys like anything that you see in the video, feel free to check down the links down below. Those are all affiliate links. They help support the channel. They help support American-owned, American-made companies. And let's get right to it. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Back here at the Stew and Q. In one of our previous videos, we'd eaten here. And we're back here with a fried egg and bacon and cheese sandwich. We're just heading our way up to Earl's Ford.
Got to call that a biscuit in Georgia.
Yeah. It was a rough night trying to get to sleep. I was just tossing and turning. I was excited, but got myself a sweet tea. One of these Gold Peak Extra Sweets. Whew, my lord. That is Southern sweet tea. About as close as you can get to prepackaged Southern sweet tea. It ain't perfect, but it's daggum near close. As usual, that's just a good biscuit. I'll always be a good biscuit. Homemade, smiling faces. If you're ever in Baldwin, go check them out. Stew and Q. They're not a sponsor or anything. I just like the place. Good Southern cooking. Good friendly people. And they're open at 5 a.m. Most places aren't open at 5 a.m. Well, really hoping to get some stuff on the fly. I'm going to be starting out with the fly. So I'm going to be trying to use a dry fly as my indicator. And then go down about 5 or 6 inches. Maybe only about 5 inches. And be working a black ant or a midge or something like that. Because, as you guys have seen in my videos, these creeks are super shallow. Super shallow. Some of them in the deepest parts are only about like mid-shin. And then in other areas, it goes all the way up to my waist, but that's a whole different story. I'm going to go ahead and finish this biscuit. I will see you guys at the creek. All right, and here we are at Earl's Ford, part of War Woman Creek. Pretty much it's just this little section right here. You guys have actually seen us fish this little section starting out at one point. I'm going ahead and getting my chest waders on. So what I'm thinking of starting off with is this will be my wet fly. And again, I am not a fly fisherman, so if I get things wrong in any way, please try to let me know. That one is not one to thread. So I'm actually going to go with this as my dry fly, as my little indicator. So again, I am not a fly fisherman, so I have no idea if that will even work very well, but we'll just go ahead and work our way down here. And this is a beautiful little area that if we're going to hook into a trout, it's going to probably be in this little area. So. All right. There we go. There's our presentation. And I'm probably working these drifts a little bit faster than I should be, but that's just mostly because I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. And some of y'all who know a little bit more than I do can probably attest to that fact. That I most definitely do not know what I am doing. And just making a little toss in there. And seeing if we can't get something. Down and through this. I really want to make a presentation down into that little corner. In the hopes of possibly getting something down there. So. All right. So. All right, there we go. starting to kind of getting the back cast a little bit better. But I feel like my rig is a bit problematic. I feel like that's kind of one of my main issues. At least right now. Dead rainbow. Great. So, this is what happens whenever you don't revive a trout correctly. It dies. So, that's often what happens whenever kids are trying to fish and parents who don't know what they're doing are trying to teach their kids how to fish. These trout die. So this trout was fully belly up. I'm gonna leave him as a treat for a bear or something. Or to at least let nature take it. Or if some weirdo wants to eat it. So this is a beautiful pool that I'm actually going to take my time and really, really work this. Because this could definitely end up in a trout. All right. Yep, that is, in fact, another dead trout. That's not even a day old. little stalker. And that is why you need to treat trout with respect. Some animal will eat that. But that's 2 dead trout. All in 3. Here's another. Yep, there's another. 3 dead trout. We have nothing in these waters that will eat that, so that is a waste of a fish. So, by me tossing these fish onto the bank, either some kind of animal or bug or something will eat them. That just upsets me. Because those were good, healthy fish that should have lived and should have made it. And they all drift to right here, and they die. All right. So maybe with a river and the main creek coming in on this area, maybe there'll be some good forage drifting down through here, and we can actually find some trout. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. That's a trout. He ate on the top water. He ate on the top water. Oh, there we go. There we go. That is my first trout on a fly. What a beauty. All right, so caught my very first fish on a fly rod. Super excited about that. We are currently heading back to the truck in hopes of maybe, and I do mean maybe, getting to another creek, or even just fishing for BFS in that first hole, and maybe having a little bit of luck. I will keep you guys updated, especially if we go to another creek. We just drove a little further up, and hopefully what'll end up coming to that is us being able to find some fish. Another dead trout. Just right there. Please, if you guys are coming trout fishing in Northeast Georgia, please learn how to handle the trout. Rats, I don't think I had the backbone for a hook set. So for the most part, we're just kind of aiming for a reaction strike. I just spooked a fish that was sitting right here. It was a good fish too. Oh, that was a trout. The whole way. I had one. Buddy just swam with it the whole way. He legit just swam with it the whole doggone way. Huh. These bugs are absolutely horrendous. All right, and we are leaving one of the forks of the Chattooga. Ended up having a few hits from some smaller trout. Nothing really crazy, just some small stalkers that had probably been in there for a little while. My dad ended up catching up another one, and we're just gonna go ahead and call it quits for today. I ended the day on 1, and my dad ended up on 4. Yeah, 4 total for him.
All on rooster tails, a white rooster tail spinnerbait.
Yeah, so he was working a spinnerbait. First creek, I was working a fly. I think I did really well, at least for a first time out, actively trying to use the fly and catching trout.
You caught a fish on a fly rod.
Yeah, I caught a trout. My first ever trout on a fly rod. I will take that any day of the week. And on a topwater too. Something I was actually really hoping to get was a topwater troutie on a little spider. It is a really bumpy road through here.
Rising trout.
Yeah. But at some point we are going to come back here if they stock this or anything like that. Because again, Georgia only has one native species of trout, and that's the brook. They do not, for the most part, they stock sterile stockers with rainbow and brown and stuff like that. So Georgia does not grow a very large native population. And it also gets very heavily fished. Because the mountains of North Georgia are absolutely beautiful, and so they attract a whole lot of people. And when they come up here, they want to fish. And they fish for trout. So they get fished out very quickly and very hard. And also, creel limit is 8 per day per person. So that does not lead for very good conservation, at least for any kind of stocking and whatnot. And because these streams are not all that big, and also because usually they're very vehicle, kid, and elderly friendly, that also does not make for a very good combination for a lot of reasons.
Well, it's good to have the accessibility, but when you've got accessibility like that, that means anyone who wants to wet a hook can get there, and they do often.
Yeah, and they very easily.
They fish it out, so it gets fished out. A lot of pressure.
For example, the stream that we started at in Warwoman, we don't know if it was that section that was stocked, but it was supposedly stocked yesterday. And you saw
very few trout.
trout.
I have a hard time believing they stocked it. And once you get to the hotter time of the year here, post 4th of July, later in the trout season, you see a non-typical stocking schedule. Sometimes those stock trucks will not stock, and they'll cite water temperature is the reason. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to dump trout into a stream that's not going to be able to keep them alive if the water temperature is too high. And we have that a lot in Georgia. We're about to experience 100+ degree days for about a week straight.
And that's just air temperature. That's not even like the total wet bulb or the
it's not the feels like.
Yeah, it's not the feels like or anything like that.
That's an actual temperature.
Yeah, that's just the straight temperature on a thermometer is 100+. And then that's not even taking into account the humidity and also the sun, UV, things like that. The UV is supposedly going to be over 10+, so it is just going to be absolutely horrendous days for the next week or two.
Well, and people try to escape it, so where do they go? They go to the mountains of North Georgia because it's cooler up here. And it's significantly cooler when it's 100 degrees outside if you're standing next to a trout stream.
For example, it's almost midday,
72.
and it's 72 degrees here. Yeah. Back home, I guarantee it's close to 90.
Yeah, it's probably 91, 92 degrees.
So there's probably about a 20-degree difference from here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really hope I can do more fly fishing content. And as per usual, have fun catching fish, people. Peace.